Hello and welcome to the Luthiers. It's called Luthiers Question Time. That's what it's called. Luthiers Question Time, episode 3.
So ask us some questions.
Please ask us some questions. This is a weekly live stream where members of the subscription service can ask us questions in the chat. It says there's currently no one in the chat, so we might just be talking to ourselves.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
I could explain who I am because you probably haven't seen me before. All of you know people out there. Yeah, I'm normally involved in the actual physical school side of things, coaching people from absolute beginners to people who are pretty down. We get some fairly accomplished people come here to actually do a course who are already pretty good, coaching them through what we do there.
Nice. We have a question. All right, tuners. Standard versus locking versus split post, thoughts, pros and cons. I'm very much a locking tuners guy now. I never had locking tuners on any of my guitars, and then I started building guitars, and now I'm like locking tuners all the way.
I've never owned a locking tuner, but I've installed enough and seen them installed, and they do look good, and I think I would probably use them in future builds, but I'm very much a standard tuners kind of guy.
Yeah. So I mean, pros and cons of the standard tuner. The pros are they're cheaper.
Yep. They're less bulky. They
less bulky, take up
lighter.
less room on the less stuff to go wrong with them. Cons are that they just take longer to string up. Really.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, but I did once time myself. I can string a guitar in 60 seconds.
Well, there you go.
With standard tuners.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah,
locking tuners, you can basically just undo the back, pull the string through, tighten it, tune it up, done.
No, they're nice. The disadvantage of locking tuners, if you take the string up and down to tension a few times, it does tend to
snap.
Because it's such a sharp angle at that point.
Yes. Yeah, if you've tuned it up, it will potentially
By split shaft tuners, do you mean like
the Fender style ones?
I'm not a great fan of those.
No, they're okay. I understand the thought process and the idea behind them.
They're a bit fiddly.
They're just
when
a
you
bit
get to the thinner strings, they're just a bit fiddly. They just
Why did the split post tuners go out of style?
Because they're a bit fiddly.
Because they're a bit fiddly. It's easy. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense to just have a post with a hole and you put the string through rather than having a hole and a split. Because then, I always try and with the split post, I always try and do like two tuners worth ahead. Yeah. You have to kind of measure the string ahead of it and then put it in and then wind it up. So it takes the guesswork out with the standard tuners and the locking. With the standard tuners, I put it all the way through, hold it at the nut, come back one fret, comes back one fret, and then I do it. So that gives you enough wind.
I'm of the school where you wind it round 3 times, poke it through.
Okay.
And then you can poke it through the coil so it's trapped on the other side. You can do that your way as well. But
I'm never sure. Sam likes to do one over and then the rest under, but I always do the strings all under, because my theory is that the string tension is pushing all of the other strings up and trapping the string against the.
So I've got the cold you had last week.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Don't worry, you won't catch it via live stream.
Or you may. No. Yes. So tuners. That's fun.
That's that cleared up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. They are all valid options. The split post tuners you have to drill a smaller hole for. I think they're 8mm.
Right.
And the standard locking tuners and standard tuners are 10mm holes.
Tend to be about 10.
10mm holes. Yes. Yeah. What did Ricky say? For anybody who has done a course at Crimson Guitars, you may have met Dom. Yeah, you have.
Hello. I did say that, but no one was actually watching at the time.
Cool. We have up-to-date antivirus installed. Yes, we do. You will not catch a cold through the live stream. What drop-in replacement bridges are there for Strats? I know of Floyd Rose, Railtail, Vega Trem. Are there others? What's your favourite bridge? Well, those are two very different questions. Drop-in replacement bridges for strats, but with the does it have the 6 screws?
We had one the other
2
week.
post.
That student brought one in, and it was supposed to, and it had a little rail that you screwed down to where the 6 screw holes go,
and it pivoted on that.
It was very clever. I can't remember who made it. It wasn't cheap, but it was a beautifully engineered piece of kit.
There's a bunch of companies that make quite nice bridges. I don't know. I mean, surely like Schala and Goto and Hipshot will make just straight strat replacement bridges.
But that was nice in that it was a drop in, but it was also an improvement because it wasn't just a bridge that wasn't screwed down properly. It's a properly
it's proper.
It transformed it to floating essentially.
That's pretty good. That is very good. Because some strat replacements you need to basically fill the 6 holes and put 2 posts in, which is a bit more work. But not if you're building it from scratch. What's your favourite bridge? Favourite bridge?
Ooh, my favourite
bridge. The 4th railway bridge. No. What to play or to install? Because those are 2 different things for me. 'Cause on all the guitars, for me, my own brand, I pretty much just use like Hipshot bridges because they're pretty comfy and it's just 3 screws, just bosh, there you go, in. But one of the comfiest bridges to play is the Schala Hannes, I don't know how to say it, but it's really, really comfy. But it's more of a pain to install because you have to do 2 bolts all the way through and you screw it in from the back. So
I'm really boring when it comes to bridges. I'm trying to think guitars I've made and play. Generally just sort of bog standard telly bridges. The Wilkinson compensated telly bridge is a good budget bridge. And a couple of guitars with sort of fairly standard tunomatics on. One thing I did notice, I built a guitar and I put a tunomatic roller bridge on. I was never that happy with the sound, and one day I was just restringing it and I happened to spot I had a spare standard tunomatic. I put it on and I swear it's brighter. Just having this hard edge, angled edges,
rather than the roller bit.
I felt it robbed me of some of the treble
Maybe
response.
it did. Because of the vibration, maybe wobbled
and maybe it was probably quite a cheap roller bridge that I put on it, but
yes, I mean, Floyd Roses are not fun to install or string up.
No,
but they are quite fun to play with. If you want to stay in one tuning.
Again, I'm boring and old-fashioned. I've owned a couple of guitars with trems on and never really got into using it.
It's one of those things where it's just like, I can do dive bombs, and then I'll put it down.
It's kind of same. I'm more of a bass player really, but if you get into fretless bass, the first thing you do when you get a fretless bass is spend all day going boom, and you've got to learn to kind of play it and make it sound normal, and then you can start to bring some fretless technique back in. But you will literally it's the equivalent of just doing dive bombs for the sake of it.
Yeah, just spend all your time. Cool. Right, I might jump into the community. I believe someone has been posting in. Oh no, wait. I've got to figure out how to do this first. I'm going to take it off YouTube so people don't see that. And then, technology. And then I do this. And then you can see what people have been working on. Hopefully. If I scroll with 2 fingers instead of what is happening? There we go. Wait, there's a new post.
Ooh.
Oh no, it's Ricky. Hello, Ricky. I'm heading over to this week's live stream. Yes, he is. Now, Stephen, I believe you're in the chat, and we've just been looking at your Strat, which looks very nice.
Is that black limber?
Looks like a black limber body, and you've done a 5-piece with a little extra on the headstock. How did you find doing laminate necks? I really like laminate necks. I find them to be far more stable. Will you just move?
I like the fact that you can use lots of small bits of wood that wouldn't be of use for anything else. You can actually
reuse bits
and save money with it.
Yeah, you also mentioned truss rod under that fretboard that almost wasn't. Yes, we've almost done that a few times here.
Yes.
Yeah. You get the fretboard, you put the glue on, you put the fretboard on, you go, why is this still here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks just like the truss rod I think I put into my neck.
Yes. So hopefully you've been enjoying my Strat course. Save whatever step Matt is doing, I try to adapt whatever I have on hand to accomplish the same thing. Yeah. That's lots of guitar building, to be fair, is just using what you've got to do the thing that you've got to do.
And occasionally you come up with an interesting new technique or way of doing something because you haven't got the grandiose piece of kit.
Yeah.
You decide that if you cut this in half with an angle grinder and bolt this piece of angle iron to it, and then...
The amount of stuff I did before I worked at Crimson with the big fancy tools, that I was just like, what? I used to split, instead of, if I had a body blank and I wanted it thinner, instead my bandsaw wasn't big enough to cut it, so I used a table saw, took the fence off, ran it through one way and flipped it and ran it the other way. But it would just spray sawdust everywhere. So that's probably not a top tip, that's pretty dangerous, but don't do that. No. But that's all I had at the time, so that's what I did.
And you've still got most of your fingers?
I have all of my fingers.
There we go.
They're all still there. Yeah, looking like some great updates here. That black limber body is really, really nice.
And the thing about black limber I've noticed, because it's quite a striking looking wood anyway, but it also takes colour beautifully.
Yeah.
I've seen it stained a number of colours, and the amount of times I thought that's not going to work, and they put it on and it looks stunning. Green, red, purple, you name it, black limber just seems to just soak it up and it just complements it. I've not seen a colour that doesn't go with it, which you think, because it looks slightly sort of greenish, brownish, it would be more the earth tones that work, but just about anything seems to really work.
Yeah, I think it might. It's because it's got like the black streaks. Or when you put the colour on, the black streaks get blacker. Yeah. And then it just kind of really pops. Speaking of Floyd Rose, is the locking nut required if you have locking tuners? Yes. Yes. You don't. Essentially, you don't need locking tuners on a guitar with a Floyd, really. It makes stringing it up a little bit faster, but the locking nut is essentially what locks the strings in the tuning you want. So what you do is it's like a traditional trem. You leave the locking nut off. You balance the trem with the springs in the back to the tuning you want, and then you lock the nut in place so that it stays there. And then if it goes out of tune afterwards, you have to adjust it with the fine adjusters on the back. Which is a bit of a pain, especially if you've gone all the way with the fine adjusters and you're still out of tune. Because then you have to undo the nut and blah blah blah, all that kind of thing.
It's one of those things. They're great once they're all set up and working perfectly, but getting to that point,
it takes a bit more work.
Of a journey.
Yeah, that's for sure. Opinions on doing black limber binding. In binding what? Binding the fretboard, sure.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know how well it steams.
Having never tried it, I couldn't say. It looks a bit.
I think it might be a bit splitty.
Yeah, that kind. But you'd have to try it.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know how that goes. I've done ebony binding, which is really hard because ebony's like super tight grain and it takes ages to steam.
Yeah, I've done walnut's nice. That blends easily.
Walnut's just a great wood.
Yeah, and maple's okay, but it can be a bit splitty. There's certain bits like on a telly, that bit there. Yeah. Maple just wants to split. It will not do that.
Yeah. I've done rosewood as well, which is slightly better than ebony, but not much.
I mean, you can struggle with maple even on that curve there.
Yeah, getting around that horn. It's even difficult with plastic lots of the time. So you have to heat it up.
The other thing I would say, if you're going to use a binding timber, you want something that's kind of harder and tighter grained, really, than black limber. It's a beautiful timber, but you try it. I mean, but my thoughts are you'd want something tougher
harder.
Than that.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's a bit. It would be like doing it with mahogany. It's quite an open grained wood, but I think black limber has more like sometimes you get like the bug holes and stuff in it. So if you were trying to bend it and you landed on a bug hole, you just snap it.
Yeah.
So so opinion is try it, but we may not recommend it. To be fair,
it's probably not ideal. What else?
What course are you working on currently, Matt? Well, Ricky, you know what I'm working on. I am currently working on the Telecaster kit course. So basically, I'm taking a really cheap kit, and I'm showing you how to make it not terrible, basically. So I've done the fretwork and I'm doing the sanding. I'm trying to show you what it came like, and then how to make that better than it is. Because you could, like with these kits, you could just put them together straight out of the box. I mean, the kit we got already had the scratch plate screwed on. Right. So they're assuming that you're just going to bolt the neck on, put the electronics in and string it up, and there you go. But, so I've gone through, checked that the fretboard was flat, and leveled the frets. I'm sanding the body, which was really bumpy and had lots of big scratch marks in, but now it doesn't. I'm impressed that they managed to do all this for the price it cost.
Right. What wood is it made from?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It is this.
Looks like poplar.
It is like...
That's poplar.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that sort of greenish streak.
Light.
Light like that, and with that sort of greenish streak, that screams poplar to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, So I think I'm going to stain it. I haven't decided what colour yet. Potentially butterscotch, potentially red. One of those two. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, it's almost. I'm on the check the sanding stage, so I've just noticed I need to do a bit more.
There's always more sanding.
There's always more sanding. Guitar building is 85% sanding. So yeah, that will be hopefully done next couple of weeks and sent to the editors. I don't know when it'll be up. That's a Ricky question. Oh, yeah, last question from me. Then I have to get back to managing a turkey.
It's Thanksgiving.
Ah, yes. Okay, yes.
So happy Thanksgiving to everyone across the pond.
Yes. Yeah. Remember to give thanks for turkey and guitars. What are the differences between oil finishes, Danish oil, tongue oil, true oil? What makes one good or not good for guitars? So, I've used true oil a fair bit, and it is really good, but you have to be very kind of careful with it, because if you leave it, it leaves a film on the top, and then you can't really get rid of it without sanding, and then sanding bits makes it look different to bits that the oil's already seeped into, and you just basically have to go back to the start, and it's just a bit of a pain.
Danish oil I have used, but it does yellow everything a bit, as does linseed as well. I've used boiled linseed in the past, but that does it even more. It tends to, if you get a nice sort of pearly white maple, it tends to sort of make it look a bit grubby. I know. I mean, plugging a Crimson product, the finishing oils we do here are, from what I remember, they're pretty much colourless.
Yes, they just enhance the wood. They don't really yellow it. Yeah. So they are good. I quite like using the oil and wax combo. I quite like using the Crimson penetrating oil and then the Monty's wax or Renaissance wax over the top, and that just kind of seals it in. I quite like that combo. That's what I've done on the Strat course, if you're following that.
That was finished with Danish oil, and that's sycamore, and that's gone a bit yellowy. I kind of wish I hadn't now, but there we go.
Well, yeah. Cool. Any more questions? Did you want to talk about this?
Well, let's talk about this. This is a guitar I've been building for a while. Just sort of, if I arrive at work early, I do something on it, and it's sort of gradually coming together. And the main thing I wanted to try was the water-based gloss finish that we do here. I Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And yeah, it comes really thick. And what I did, I'm still sort of working. I wish I'd have made more notes because I started this in my own workshop at home, and I wasn't ever intending to ever really explain to anyone else how I was going to do it. But from memory, well, first of all, we got stain. This is an ash body, and I stained it black, and then sanded most of the black out, so it just sits enhances the grey. And then I went over with, I think, crimson red, oxblood, mulberry. I was sort of thinking red wine. That's what I was kind of thinking. Chateauneuf de Pape as a Telecaster. And then built up layers of this. I think I just brushed on 3 layers, just daubed it on, just to get some finish on, and then started sanding it back. And then after that, I watered a bit of it down and started applying it more like French polish, where it's just lots of very thin layers. That way, that starts to fill up the sanding marks. It means you can then go to much finer sanding. And I sanded up to about, I think, 2000 grit. And then polished it on the buffer here. And it's almost there. There's a couple of little bits I still want to touch up that I'm not quite happy with. But yeah, if you just think an absolute flat top guitar with no round over or anything, it's dead easy just to build up the flat. So it got a bit more difficult because it's going round a radius and all round the edge and into the hard to access bits.
That's the same with spraying lacquer and stuff. Is the edges are always the hard bit.
But on the whole, I'm happy with it. And so it was just an attempt. I just wanted to use all native timber. I know this is sycamore, and I've had people point out sycamore is not considered native, but it's been here long enough.
Not considered native.
Apparently, no. And that the fretboard is beech, which was an offcut that the tool makers. I fished it out the bin and thought there's a fretboard there. I don't know how clearly you can see that, but it's quarter sawn beech, and you get this lovely flecky finish on it. If I hold it right up there, you might be able to see something.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. I mean, that may darken and go brown. Oil finishes, that's the other thing about an oil finish, it tends to darken with age. But it's a sort of nice darkening. It's a sort of... it matures.
Yes.
Way to do it.
Yes, like a whiskey.
I'm kind of thinking... I've got an interesting story about whiskey. I accidentally bought a bottle today. Genuinely accidentally bought a bottle of whiskey. There we go. But it's going to look something like that when it's done. I'm kind of thinking possibly gold hardware, because I'm a bit of a...
Red wine and gold hardware.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, we might just call it there. Think there's no more questions. Well, cool. Thank you for joining us, and see you next week, next Thursday. It is Thursday, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
Well. All right. Thanks for joining. Cheers.
Bye. We're gone.